So, what are the best guitar strings? Well, first a little history about what I've used. For the longest time, I only played Elixir strings. I used them all the time. I really liked them. I liked the feel of the string, the coated string, but I did notice a slight loss in tone and clarity. But I stuck with Elixir strings because the other strings I had used, the plain strings, they just didn't feel right. So after playing Elixirs for a long time, then I switched. I started using Ernie Ball strings. And I really liked the feel of the Ernie Ball strings versus the other strings I had used previously. I just really preferred the feel of the Ernie Ball. So I stopped using Elixirs completely. Then of course I thought I'd try more strings and more strings. So of course I tried Dean Markley strings. I tried the cryogenically frozen strings. Those weren't too bad, but I always come back to the Ernie Ball string. And my preferred set of Ernie Ball strings for a long time was the Beefy. But I tuned down the Drop B, and I was wanting something with heavier string gauge. So I eventually found the Ernie Ball Not So Slinky set. And I used these for a long time as well. Ernie Ball, in my opinion, just makes the best strings. But again, I tuned down the Drop B, and even this Not Even Slinky set, the largest string is a 56, and the smallest is a 12. Well, I really want a heavier top end, and I want my thinnest string to be thinner than a 12. I like an 11 or a 10. And also a 16 is not too bad, but I like a 15 a little better. But I kept using these for a long time. Eventually, I decided, you know what, no more sets for me. I just stopped buying sets completely, and I started buying single strings. And I gotta say, that's the absolute way to go. Single strings. You will probably pay more buying single strings versus, buying a set that's prepackaged with 6 strings. But you can mix and match gauges, make your own custom sets, try out different gauges on different guitars. You can try out all kind of configurations. Only thing I buy now is the Ernie Ball custom gauges, single strings, and from these I make my own sets. On one guitar I like a 58, then like a 38, 28, 18, 15, and a 10. And on other guitars I might prefer, say, a 62, then like a 42, and so on. You can experiment with using a plain string as your third string, or maybe you want a wound string. It's just great to be able to put together the custom set that you want. So in my opinion, the best strings out there are the Ernie Ball strings, and the best way to buy them is single strings. Now if you're looking for a place to buy single strings, the place I've been using the past few years is juststrings.com. Unlike other kind of popular online retail stores, they have a huge selection. Not just popular string gauges like many popular stores do, but they have them all. I like 58s, I got a 62 here, I got a 66 in here somewhere. And they have, 70s if you want to go up that big on a guitar. Like I said, mix and match, make your own set. And if you haven't tried out Ernie Ball custom gauge strings, try out Ernie Ball custom gauge strings. These are the best strings. Especially if you're down tuning like I am down to Drop B. Buying single strings has got to be the only way to go. You can get a nice big fat string for your 6th string and a nice light 11, 10, or maybe even a 9 for your 1st string. Ernie Ball custom gauge, the best strings ever made. Surface. So I tried the red and the black, but they also had a carbon fiber version, and that's what this is, the carbon fiber max grip Jazz 3.